just makes sense. We watch trending. Hot 7 TV. Catch us on channel 117 Flow, channel 7 Plug and Play, or our website www.caribbeanhot7tv.com and our popular Hot FM app.
To advertise on Hot 7 TV, call us at 452-6040 or email us at hot7@caribbeanhottv.com. A fantastic package awaits you.
On behalf of Horn FM Communications Limited, we want to congratulate Like It Is and, of course, Mr. Spider Montoute on their first year anniversary. We look forward to more content and, of course, a better relation. Once again, thank you to Like It Is and big up you on your first anniversary.
Here's your guide to installing Hot 7's digital antenna.
Please note that all TV sets manufactured today have a digital tuner. TV sets manufactured before the year 2005 may not have a built-in digital tuner, and you may not be able to receive our free-to-air digital transmission on Channel 7 to receive our free over-the-air digital HD TV service. Number 1. Plug your antenna into your TV set's RF input jack labeled antenna or cable in. Number 2. You will now have to scan for the digital channel. Please note that all digital TVs are different in terms of scanning procedures. The following is a general guide, but the steps or the terminology may be different for your device. The opinions expressed on this TV program by the hosts, guests, and callers are solely their opinions and responsibility. They do not necessarily represent the views and opinions of Hot 7 TV or its affiliates.
Greetings to one and all. Greetings to all Like It Is supporters and fans. Ladies and gentlemen, believe it or not, it is 1 year since we've been on the air, and tomorrow actually will mark the first anniversary, but of course the show is on a Monday because we started on the 23rd of September 2024. And since this show has hit the airwaves, we actually had our first show, yes, like I said, on the 23rd. And I must say, at this juncture, a very, very special thank you to all of you viewers and listeners and all the contributors to the program, to the show Like It Is. And, you know, while we are still in our infancy, I am proud of the strides that we have made in this 1 year since we've been on the air. And first and foremost, I must say a hearty special thanks to the loyal viewers and listeners, whether here in St. Lucia, in the region, or in the wider diaspora. I must also thank my team who operate behind the scenes, that is my technical people, my wife Barbara, who provides great material support, my sponsors, and all the guests who have graced this show over the last year. I recall, ladies and gentlemen, that my very first show, my first two guests were in fact Rush Clark and Peter Chico, and they are the endorsed United Workers' Party candidates for the constituencies of Castries Central and Castries East respectively. And I also remember too that one of my regular listeners who always calls in to the show was in fact my very first caller, and that is Mr. Ian Cauldron, who actually lives in the diaspora. He lives somewhere in New York. So the show Like It Is, ladies and gentlemen, after 1 year, I think we have moved from stride to stride. We have made some progress in terms of, you know, the quality of the show. We have moved from leaps to bounds. And I must say, you know, I am very happy that we have come so far, and I'm hoping that with your support, your continued support to the fans, the followers, that we will move from strength to strength in the coming year. So the show Like It Is, as you know, can be viewed right now on Hot 7 TV. You can listen to it on a KISS FM radio. You can also get the show on Caribbean Hot 7 app and on Facebook and YouTube. So you have a multiplicity of ways in which you can capture that show. So join us tonight, ladies and gentlemen, in celebrating our first anniversary as we look forward to the continued growth and development of the program with you, with your continued support and your continued encouragement. So, ladies and gentlemen, you know, as anything else, I know many of my followers, my supporters, my listeners, my viewers, my contributors have been keenly following, and so they are aware that today is our first anniversary, and we have quite a few congratulatory messages, of which I will play some of them to you. But I would like to start, first of all, with some of the videos that we have lined up for you, people who submitted their videos because they wanted to express their sentiments about the fact that we have come this far to be celebrating our first anniversary today. So let us hear some of the messages that we have received here on Like It Is.
As the first guest, I would like to congratulate you, Mr. Lenard Spider Montoute, on the first anniversary of your show, Like It Is. I am proud to be part of that history on your inaugural show, and it was indeed a privilege to be chosen to join you. I wish you all the best as you continue bringing the truth and fact to the people about the United Workers' Party's political history in St. Lucia. I wish you continued success with the show and that you continue to educate our people about the United Workers' Party's future plans and policies. Thank you, Spider.
I want to take a moment to commend Mr. Lenard Spider Montoute for his hard work, his dedication, and his commitment to the people of St. Lucia. From the time of you being a minister to right now being the public relations officer, as well as the host of Like It Is, you've seen the good, the bad, and the ugly of our St. Lucian politics. Yet you stay committed to ensuring that the people of St. Lucia hear the truth. So keep it up, Spider. Happy 1-year anniversary to Like It Is. Keep telling it like it is.
On behalf of Castries East, our rep in waiting, Peter D. Chico, we want to congratulate Mr. Spider Montoute and Team Like It Is on their first anniversary. Big up you from Castries East, Like It Is. Happy first anniversary.
Good day, St. Lucia. This is Ian Cauldron, Public Relations Officer of the New York Flabo Caucus, former board member of the Castries Constituency Council, and former executive member of the United Workers' Party. I would like to wish the management and the host of Like It Is a happy 1-year anniversary. To Mr. Lenard Spider Montoute, I would like to wish you a happy first anniversary of your program, Like It Is. I'm an avid fan of Like It Is, having been the first caller to your show, and I have realized within this 1 year, your program has grown from strength to strength. And I want to appeal to St. Lucians. If it's Monday, it's Like It Is. Like It Is the talk show, the upcoming talk show where you get the facts, where you get information, and that exposes the incompetence and the deficiencies of the St. Lucia Labour Party. Happy 1-year anniversary to you, Mr. Lenard Spider Montoute. Happy 1-year anniversary to Like It Is. Thank you very much.
Congratulations on your incredible success of achieving your first anniversary of Like It Is. Your hard work and dedication has truly paid off, Spider. I am proud that this success is an inspiration and has been very impressive and remarkable. It's an achievement and you are truly outstanding. Cheers to you, Spider, for a job well done.
I'm taking this opportunity to congratulate the host of Like It Is, Spider Montoute, You've been doing a great job with Like It Is. I think St. Lucia really needed a show like this, and as you celebrate your first anniversary of hosting this very special program, I want to say special thanks to you for having me as a guest. I think I've appeared a few times, and it really brings light to what is happening in St. Lucia. So I congratulate you, and I know Barbara does a lot of work in the background. I want to thank her also, and Hot 7 for hosting this show where St. Lucians can be enlightened. And we have a real talk show host who tell it like it is. Congratulations.
Hello everyone. I want to say a very special congratulations and happy first anniversary to our wonderful PRO, Lenard Spider Montoute, on the first anniversary of his show, Like It Is. Congratulations, Spider. I look forward to listening to your show every Monday on YouTube, on Facebook. And beyond the show, I want to say thank you so much for the fantastic job that you do as PRO of the United Workers' Party and as host of the show on a Thursday, Meet the Government in Waiting. Congratulations, Spider. You're doing an excellent job. And thank you as well to your producer, Barbara. Happy first anniversary. Keep on doing the great work that you're doing. We love you. Thank you, Spider. Bye.
Hi, Spider. Congratulations on your first anniversary of your show, Like It Is. Keep bringing the message out to the people and keep it like it is. Bye.
Happy anniversary to Like It Is and to its host, Lenard Montoute. We thank you for the fabulous job that you've done in the last year and your fighting spirit, and for positioning our party in the best of light. We thank you again, and we wish you all the best in the coming year and the years to come as you continue to present this awesome show, Like It Is. Thank you, and thank you very much, TP.
Spider, congratulations on your first year on Tell It Like It Is. Thanks for informing us all over the world. Thanks for informing us in the diaspora. Thanks for informing us about what's taking place in our country, the truth and the lies. We are very proud of you, and congratulations. Keep on doing an amazing job, and keep on telling us what's taking place in our country and informing us what's going on in our country. We in the diaspora are very proud of you and excited for the next year. Congratulations, Spider, on your first year anniversary. Bravo! Keep on doing a great job.
Right now I'm at Francha College, School of Business, Trade and Engineering Technology. I just want to take the time off to bless up Spider and his beautiful wife on his show, Say It Like It Is, on this anniversary of the show. More blessings unto him as he traveled through this time with this new St. Lucian government, with the manufactured perilous times. I hope Jah bless and guide him and guide his family. And hope in the new year coming, more blessings, more shows, more energy. Because he's been doing a good job. So keep it up, Spider. Blessings unto you and more love. Say no more.
Good day. This is Dr. Jocelyn Clark Fletcher, Chair of the Trustees of the United Workers' Party. I'd like to join my voice with the others who congratulate Mr. Lenard Spider Montoute, or how I prefer to call him, Honorable Spider Montoute, on the first anniversary of his show, Like It Is. A remarkable, life-changing, informative show, one that has blessed and benefited the United Workers' Party supporters and members so much. I want to thank Spider for the work that he has done for the party and continues to do. I want to thank him for his integrity, his strength, his support, his unwavering loyalty to the morals, the values of the United Workers' Party. Spider, may God continue to bless you and strengthen you and keep you. May you be able to continue standing as a strong fortress against the attacks that come your way. Just know that all the viewers and supporters of Like It Is, we stand with you, for you, and behind you. No weapon formed against you will prosper. We would like to hail you, our chief, in the public relations arena and say to you, God continue to bless and keep you. Continue with your fabulous show. Continue informing the people of St. Lucia. Continue keeping us on our toes with what's happening around us and with us. Continue exposing the lies and deceits of the government so that people can make an informed choice for our future and the benefit of St. Lucia. Again, I want to say a big thank you, Spider. God bless you. I'm exceedingly proud of you.
Hello everybody, I would like to take time out to congratulate Like It Is on their very first anniversary. I would also like to thank Mr. Lenard Montoute for taking time out to educate persons like myself about politics. Guys, trust me, every Monday I look forward to listening to Like It Is. So trust me when I tell you it is one of the best shows. You should tune in on Kiss FM 105.9 or 105.5 or Hot 7 TV, guys. You will not be disappointed. I promise you, this is one of the best shows thus far. Okay, so again, congratulations, Like It Is. You have yourself a wonderful anniversary, and I'm hoping that I'm here to celebrate a few more anniversaries with you guys. Have yourself a wonderful anniversary. Bye-bye now.
Hey guys, this is Senator Harrow, and I want to send a big congratulations and happy 1-year anniversary to our wonderful show, Like It Is. Lenard Spider Montoute, our wonderful PRO, former Rep for Grizzly, and a former minister. You are doing a fantastic job of telling it like it is. Your fire is ignited every single Monday, and you continue to tell us the truth. You continue to give us what we need. Many people say truth is like medicine. Then Spider, you are the doctor that we need for St. Lucia. So continue to do wonderful things, Spider. Happy 1-year anniversary to the Like It Is family. I was happy and elated to have been a guest host on this wonderful platform. So St. Lucia, Mamai Flabo, let's continue to tell it like it is, because St. Lucia needs healing, and Flabo has the medicine and the doctors ready to serve this nation.
Yes, thank you. Thank you very much, folks. That was wonderful. Much encouragement and support here, as usual, as always. I, really love the encouragement. But let me just say that you make the show what it has been, and we're hoping that you'll continue to give us the support and you continue to join us every Monday so that we can grow, as I said, from strength to strength. But before we end the congratulatory messages, I have one more person who wishes to add his voice to the congratulatory messages, and I have that person online. So let us go to the phone lines to receive that message right now. Hello, good evening.
Hey, good evening, Spider. How are you?
Not too bad, thank you. And I think I have here the political leader of the United Workers' Party, leader of the opposition.
It is.
Yes, sir.
I could not allow this moment to pass by without me joining with everybody else's voices to congratulate you on your first anniversary. Both you and Barbara have made an amazing team. But I want to say that your courage has been exemplary, and more important, that a person who ran elective politics 5 times and has been a minister, and I can't thank you enough on behalf of all of the members of the United Workers' Party, both past and present, for the example that you've set and the work that you're putting in with the party. So it may not be in running an election, but certainly as PRO of the party and the host of Like It Is has been exemplary. And I'm very proud of you. I know a lot of other people are very proud of you. And thanks being so inadequate at this point. But let me just stick to the tradition and say thank you very, very much for what both of you have done and what you are continuing to expose in St. Lucia. So keep it up, my brother, and know that you have my full support and the support of the United Workers' Party.
Okay, thank you very much. Much appreciated. Once again, a sincere thanks to one and all of you have contributed in one way or another to making Like It Is what it is. And, you know, you are the ones responsible for Like It Is being like it is. So now, ladies and gentlemen, I will move on after all the, you know, the praise and accolades. You know, I don't want to start blushing on the program here tonight. So we're going to get into our usual business, but now we are going into our usual SLP segment. But on this anniversary show, we will provide you with some reruns of some of the many secrets, lies, and propaganda that we have been exposed to from the St. Lucia Labour Party government, the manufacturers of deceit. So, ladies and gentlemen, can we cue up the next segment, SLP, Secret, Lies, and Propaganda.
You hear lie? That is lie. Lie? You hear lie? Teacher Percy said if you tell a lie, you're going to hell as soon as you die. Wasted.
Yes, folks, as we celebrate our first anniversary, I wish to remind you that along the way, we started this SLP segment, and it has been a feature every week since then of Like It Is. And in that segment, we featured the incessant lies, the secrets, and the propaganda of the St. Lucia Labour Party government. Now today, to mark our first anniversary, I will remind you of some of the many deceptions perpetrated by the Philip J. Pierre administration and his government on you, the people of St. Lucia. Obviously, we cannot give you all of them tonight, but we'll give you a few that you have seen over the weeks and months since we started that segment on the program. So, ladies and gentlemen, here goes. Let's start with our first clip.
My conscience, my belief in God first, and my belief in people. I believe that people are basically good. And that has worked for me in all my life. You understand? It worked for me in my life. So don't worry. Either once it's not true, I don't worry. I heard this gentleman say a few things. Or I didn't hear. They sent a tip for me. I was wondering, where was I when that happened? Complete fabrication. Complete. Example. I was in court with Ernest Hilaire to pervert justice. Never happened. Never happened. I was not there. That day I was not there. That never happened. What can I say? Never happened. But what keeps me going is the truth. I believe in the truth. So I never get perturbed. Every day things are said about me on radio and otherwise. Every day. But I keep focused and keep working for the people of St. Lucia. For the people of St. Lucia. And when the people of St. Lucia decide that they want me, they no longer want me, I will bow out gracefully. And thank God.
Later than next Friday.
Prime Minister Philippe Pierre and Speaker of the House Claudius Francis were also present at the court hearing in a show of support.
I was here, so it's nothing new. What I want to ensure, to show you, is that we believe that justice must be had for everybody in the country. So Dr. Hilaire made himself present at court so that the system can work. We believe that no man is above the law and every man has to be treated equally when it comes to the law. So we've made ourselves present today in the court to ensure that the system works, and we are very satisfied that the system has worked.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, just to at least inform the general public that pursuant to a statement made by the Honorable Prime Minister, want to disabuse the minds of some persons who seemingly have digested misinformation, stating that as long as you are on the land for 30 years, you are entitled to that property. That only goes, Mr. Speaker, for private lands.
This year, we will give everybody who is on Crown lands and who has been there for more than 30 years, we will give them the land free.
That only goes, Mr. Speaker, for private land.
Absolutely zero political interference in the work of the police, especially under my charge. I have not been faced with any politician or someone involved in politics giving me any kind of interference whatsoever throughout my tenure in the organization.
You could put it down. Mr. Commissioner, Mr. Vungard, I am publicly asking you to intervene. You cannot have a police officer attached to special branch, access to sensitive information, always around the Prime Minister, always armed, and referring to the Prime Minister as he's a waste of space. Something has to be done with immediacy, like tonight. Tonight, something has to be done. Something has. Mr. Commissioner, we cannot permit that to continue.
Never told any reporter that that's not your business.
As a matter of national security, sir, are you aware of the contents of the impacts report?
That's not your business. She had no savings, so the government had to borrow from the NIC to pay, and they had to borrow in large amounts. And the ECCB statistics will show that St. Lucia was the largest borrowing country after COVID.
Mr. Speaker, on a point of order. The members leading the House, the government never borrowed any money from NIC.
I didn't say borrow, I said the government used money from NIC.
You promised every cent. Did you also say that you promised every St. Lucian $1,500? That's being said all over the place.
I never know where it came from. I don't know where it came from. I mean, nobody can be in a tape and say, nobody can be in a tape and say. What we said is everybody who gets less than $4,000 a month will pay no tax. No one. And I challenge anybody to go anywhere to say where Philip J. Pierre ever said. Challenge it. People just say that. Would increase the income support to the unemployed people in the country, so $500 would not be enough. A Labour Party would ensure that these people would get at least $1,500 for their response to COVID. We would triple it, my brothers and sisters. I don't know about this banding Kenya. I don't know about it. I don't know who disbanded any Kenya. I don't know. If somebody can tell me that there been any policy to disband the K9 unit. Disband means it was there and you extracted it. That's what disband means. That's what it means. Use the words carefully. Disband the K9 unit means that there was a K9 unit and we send the K9s away. Flashback. The only reason why the dogs were pulled back is because we were told that the scanners would have been ready and there would not have been any need for both of them. And people seem to have forgotten that. But the scanners have not been ready, or if they're ready, they're not as efficient. So I've asked the Attorney General to look into returning the dogs to the customs to see what we can do to stem the flow of guns into the country. Firearms.
Yes. What's the status of the unit right now, as we speak?
From my understanding, that this unit is, we are waiting for a renewal of probably its contract, but I don't know because it's not within my power to renew. It was not, the contract was not between the force and the unit. The unit was given to us, also customs and financial investigations agency. It was open to them to use. But in terms of, I believe that we need a unit in the Royal St. Lucia Police Force because it assists.
Mr. PM, can you shed some light on that?
On the dogs?
Yeah, in terms of the renewal of the contract.
Okay, I mean, I know we need some level of excitement in the country. I mean, things after COVID, there's need for, and the press is very happy to dive in. I understand that, I understand. I might tell you something. Some time ago, I was a reporter, you know that? And some time in my life, I worked with the press. Okay. So I understand the excitement of the press. I think that, let me say something about this. And I hope as this interview continues, I can be able to dispel some of the myths and the lies that are peddling in St. Lucia, real lies. And I'm very happy to dispel some of it. I have an agreement in my hand. The K9 unit started in April 2021. Okay? It was an agreement.
So, Mr. Speaker, the team found that there were many material breaches by the company, Fresh Start. Things which ought to have been done by them were never done. And therefore, the termination with cause for both of the developments was totally justified. They were supposed to have gotten approval from Lucilec, and the costings, they did not. Wasco costings and approval, they did not. They were supposed to do estimates for the infrastructure and to provide a bank guarantee for those estimates. If there were no estimates, Mr. Speaker, there cannot be a bank guarantee for what does not exist. So, in a nutshell, Mr. Speaker, I tell you of the material breaches that essentially lent themselves to a justifiable termination of both contracts. Mr. Speaker, as one team member said, this new government cannot be seen to be continuing an illegality.
Media interview last week, Minister for Housing Honorable Richard Frederick said that Fresh Start Construction Company did not have DCA approval for 2 housing projects embarked upon recently. He also confirmed that the National Housing Corporation had terminated its contracts for the projects with the company. As per the contract, Fresh Start was required to conduct subdivision and registration of parcels as per DCA approval. Following the sale of the lots, the company, which has more than a decade of experience, would receive 80% from the proceeds and the NHC 20%. As part of the completion of sales obligation, Fresh Start would remain a party to the agreement until such time as sales are completed to sufficiently remunerate the company. The projects, according to Richard, however, were not approved by the DCA.
Both of the developments were started illegally. And once you start an illegal development, you do it at your own risk.
So how is it illegal?
Because there was no DCA approval for either of them.
Hot 7 News has, however, obtained documents showing that not only were the developments approved, but that 38 lots had already been surveyed. The projects in question are the Shock Housing.
I, Richard Frederick, will swallow my vomit anytime. And let me go further. I will even further swallow my vomit when it comes to the Shock development, because Fresh Start is going to do the Shock development. So if it's vomit I'm swallowing, I just start to swallow. If it's Friday,
cannot afford to. Let me tell you something. I think this matter of special prosecutor, we flunk on that already, And when I say we flunk on it, I don't mean the government did anything wrong. I'm just saying in terms of something that was promised, in terms of a deliverable, in terms of a promise that so many of your sincere, of your fervent, of your ardent supporters were banking on, were staking their hopes on the special prosecutor. A lot of them have reached a time where their hands are hanging down, in despair, feebly at their sides, I don't think anything will come of that. Thankfully, special prosecutor is not something, or the sort of thing, that impacts people in a direct, daily, tangible way. In other words, it's not something that people can relate to their job, their income, the food on their table, the ability to pay their bills, you know. It's not so, thankfully. It's an important thing, you know. But thankfully, it is not, in the minds of most people, a true bread and butter issue. The road condition, transport availability, healthcare, the hospital, you know, this sort of thing. Because if it was, I'm telling you, it would be a major smack in the eye. It would be something more than mere egg in the face.
You will not believe. If just the building has 3 floors, which I will not tell you, I will show you because it is described in a lease agreement. Okay? Now, Shasta said he only sold the ground floor. Okay? The question is, if you sold the ground floor, the other 2 floors would belong to us, wouldn't they, Albert?
Yeah.
If there are 3 floors, you sold the ground, the other 2 hours. Why then do you sign a lease renting what you say is ours?
Well, they have completed the construction and government has to do the retrofitting for us to use the space. We are still in discussion as to which ministries are likely to occupy that space as well as some other agencies, because we have 2 floors, the first and second floor.
Poyot further confirms that the government will in fact own the space after they have completed payment as per the lease agreement.
This will be owned by government after we have paid it off for almost 16.5 years. So right now we have completed the exercise. The contractor has finished the construction up to where they agreed to, and government now has to take it from there in terms of retrofitting the space and deciding which agencies will occupy.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, these were just a few samples of the deceit, the lies, the secrets, the propaganda that is being pushed by the St. Lucia Labour Party government. Obviously, you know, we have not exhausted. You need 2 programs, perhaps, of just playing clips on lies that we've been told by our government. But tonight, I just wanted to highlight, you know, some of the lies that have featured on this program for the past few months, for the past few weeks. And you saw, strangely enough, the 2 most prominent liars in the government were the ones featured most. That is the Prime Minister himself, Philip J. Pierre, and Richard Frederick. Of course, if you were to say, judging from all the lies that we have heard from the government on this program, you were to give a crown to one person in the government, certainly Prime Minister Philip J. Pierre would be King Liar. And of course, it would be closely followed by his right-hand man, Richard Frederick. Now, you know, you saw them there shamelessly just telling lie after lie. And what strikes me most is the way you have, especially the Prime Minister, talking about truth and accusing people of being liars and so on, while he is lying. You know, these people have made a career of being deceitful. They have made a career of being dishonest with the people of St. Lucia. And as a result of that, you cannot trust those people. And so, ladies and gentlemen, we will continue to highlight all the deceit and the dishonesty and the lies that we get from the St. Lucia Labour Party government to expose them for what they are. So this was a special episode tonight of secrets, lies, and propaganda. I ask that you stay tuned, because when we return, we will touch a little on the subject of the day, which is crime, and I will also introduce to you my special guest for tonight, and that is Mr. Titus Preville, the endorsed candidate for Babono for the United Workers' Party. So please stay tuned. We'll be back shortly.
You hear lie? That is lie. Lie? You hear lie? Teacher Percy say if you tell a lie, you're going to hell as soon as you die. Why, sir?
The
views of the host of this program is independent of Hot 7 TV, Kiss FM, and Hot FM Communications Limited.
St. Lucia, Hot 7 TV was the first to bring you a full HD newscast. Now, here's another first. The Hot 7 Nightly News is now your first newscast for the evening in St. Lucia. You heard right. The Hot 7 Nightly News is now at 7:15. Yes, tune in at 6:45 p.m. and be the first to catch the latest happenings in your world. On the run, watch us on your cell phone or tablet via the Caribbean Hot FM app. Trusted, objective journalism from our diligent news team. Get it fresh, get it hot. The Hot 7 Nightly News, now at 7:15. Watch us on channel 117 on Flow, channel 7 Plug and Play, or follow us on Facebook Live on Caribbean Hot 7 TV.
Did you know that while you're busy with your day, important news is breaking all around you? From politics to weather updates, community stories, and breaking news. Hot 7 TV keeps you informed with news every hour on the hour. Don't wait to hear it secondhand. Stay ahead. Stay informed with Hot 7 TV St. Lucia. News notes on the hour. Stay updated wherever you are. Catch Hot 7 TV St. Lucia's news every hour on the air, on our mobile app, and on our website. Now you can take Hot FM, Kiss FM, and Hot 7 TV with you wherever you go. Whether you're in St. Lucia or exploring our four corners of the globe. Our record-breaking app has already been downloaded over 500,000 times on Google Play and the Apple App Store. To bring you the best in HD sound, we've relaunched a brand new app. Get it for free in the App Store by simply searching Caribbean Hot FM HD. Listen to us in real time, anywhere, any place, anytime. We've added so many cool new features, like our live in-studio option, where you can see your favorite announcers and DJs at work. So download the app today. It's free. Spread the news. St. Lucia is now in HD around the world on the Hot FM app. Don't miss out. Join the fun and stay connected.
Looking for the best way to advertise? Hot 7 TV gives you more reach, more impact, and more value. Get your business in front of the right audience and watch your sales soar. Don't miss out. Call 452-6040 today and take advantage of our exclusive advertising packages. Hot 7 TV, smart advertising for smart businesses.
St. Lucia, Hot 7 TV was the first to bring you a full HD newscast. Now, here's another first. The Hot 7 Nightly News is now your first newscast for the evening in St. Lucia. You heard right. The Hot 7 Nightly News is now at 7:15. Yes, tune in at 6:45 p.m. and be the first to catch the latest happenings in your world. On the run, watch us on your cell phone or tablet via the Caribbean Hot FM app. Trusted, objective journalism from our diligent news team. Get it fresh, get it hot. The Hot 7 Nightly News, now at 7:15. Watch us on channel 117 on Flow, channel 7 Plug and Play, or follow us on Facebook Live on Caribbean Hot 7 TV.
Now you can take Hot FM, Kiss FM, and Hot 7 TV with you wherever you go. Whether you're in St. Lucia or exploring our four corners of the globe. Our record-breaking app has already been downloaded over 500,000 times on Google Play and the Apple App Store. To bring you the best in HD sound, we've relaunched a brand new app. Get it for free in the App Store by simply searching Caribbean Hot FM HD. Listen to us in real time, anywhere, any place, anytime. We've added so many cool new features, like our live in-studio option, where you can see your favorite announcers and DJs at work. So download the app today. It's free. Spread the news. St. Lucia is now in HD around the world on the Hot FM app. Don't miss out. Join the fun and stay connected. Did you know that while you're busy with your day, important news is breaking all around you? From politics to weather updates, community stories, and breaking news. Hot 7 TV keeps you informed with news every hour on the hour. Don't wait to hear it secondhand. Stay ahead. Stay informed with Hot 7 TV St. Lucia, news notes on the hour. Stay updated wherever you are. Catch Hot 7 TV St. Lucia's news every hour on the air, on our mobile app, and on our website.
St. Lucia, Hot 7 TV was the first to bring you a full HD newscast. Now, here's another first. The Hot 7 Nightly News is now your first newscast for the evening in St. Lucia. You heard right. The Hot 7 Nightly News is now at 7:15. Yes, tune in at 6:45 p.m. and be the first to catch the latest happenings in your world. On the run, watch us on your cell phone or tablet via the Caribbean Hot FM app. Trusted, objective journalism from our diligent news team. Get it fresh, get it hot. The Hot 7 Nightly News, now at 7:15. Watch us on channel 117 on Flow, channel 7 Plug and Play, or follow us on Facebook Live on Caribbean Hot 7 TV.
Welcome back, our viewers and listeners, to Like It Is on this, the first anniversary of the show. As you know, it is 1 year now since we've been on the airwaves, and I again want to thank you so much for making the show what it is. As I said earlier on, you are responsible for making Like It Is what it is, because you are responsible for Like It Is being like it is. And so, ladies and gentlemen, we are moving now into our second segment. At some point, very shortly, I will be introducing to you my guest. But before I do so, I just want to touch a little on the subject of the day. It seems a perennial subject, that is the issue of crime in St. Lucia. And that is a subject the government does not want to hear about, pretends that it does not exist, but it is a major disaster in our lives. It controls our life to a great extent. We have had cases where the criminals have actually put us under curfew. We have had cases where criminals are now affecting commerce in this country. We have the threat of our main industry being destroyed as a result of crime, and we have our people in St. Lucia, above all, living in fear. You know, last Monday at the last show, I lamented that in the days leading up to the show that was last Monday, there were 4 murders within the week that preceded. But you know, since then, we found out that there were 3 or 4 murders in one day. That is after last Monday's show. 3 or 4 in one day here in Little St. Lucia. You know, as a matter of fact, in the last 2 weeks, ladies and gentlemen, we have had at least a dozen murders in this country. I want to repeat that. In the last 2 weeks here in St. Lucia, we have had at least a dozen murders taking place in this country. I'm not even counting people who got shot and injured, but who survived. That is the situation that we have here in St. Lucia. Ladies and gentlemen, whether you realize it or not, we have a country heading to mayhem. Ladies and gentlemen, who should speak remains mute. And when others speak out, you know, and share their concerns about the crime situation that is taking place in this country, they are being accused of politicizing crime. You know, I want to say this. The government comes out with this as a cop-out because they don't want to address the issue and they don't want you to talk about the issue. And that is why I keep saying the government is practicing suppression of crime, but that is not the solution to crime here in this country. And so while I'm not afraid of being accused of politicizing crime, I would prefer, ladies and gentlemen, to let you hear the voice of some others. I doubt you'll accuse them, of politicizing crime. So let's go to the next clip that I want to play you, and let's hear what they have to say on the issue of crime.
A Labour government would not have a drug baron in its cabinet.
Attitude of this government, my brothers and my sisters, political stability. As a result of all the foolishness of this government, St. Lucia is fast becoming a place where they cannot govern anymore. There is lawlessness that we have never seen before in this country. And you see the situation with crime. And I agree, the Labour Party always said, do not politicize crime. But the tone set by a government can influence the direction of criminal activity in the country. If you have a lawless government, then they have set the stage for lawlessness. And it is not surprising that we have found ourselves into that unprecedented fire of lawlessness. And the government is virtually impotent in dealing with the crime situation in this country.
I almost am tempted to clap for Alva. It looked like someone had told Alva that he would make it to like it is, so he was there telling it like it is. I cannot agree with you more, Alva. Now let's examine something. But before we go into examining whether the Labour Party is a party that is true to its word, let me just say this.
And by the way,
Alva expressed some words there that, for a change, is factual. Because when a government is lawless, you will have a country that is lawless. And you can do nothing about lawlessness if you are a government that is lawless. And we are seeing evidence of that right before our very eyes. You could not have revealed it in better terms. You couldn't be more accurate in describing your government vis-a-vis the crime situation that exists in this country today. So, ladies and gentlemen, like I said, we want to examine whether the Labour Party would be uncharacteristic and be true to their word. Like I said, if they would be true to their word, that would be uncharacteristic. Let's see if they would be uncharacteristic and be true to their word. Let us watch the next clip to see what kind of people they have in the cabinet, because remember Kenny started by saying a Labour government would not have drug dealers or whatever he said, certainly criminals in their cabinet. Let's see if they are true to their word.
And by the way, once I'm relaying factual information, I need no permission to call anybody's name. Let them beat you in peace and peace and peace until they beat you in pieces and you die in peace. And then go and massage people's ego. You know? Once I'm telling the truth, I need no permission to call anybody's name.
Now, let me just say this. This here was a comment made by Richard Frederick on his show. Let me remind you, Richard Frederick El Quapo is a member of the St. Lucia Labour Party government. Let me further remind you that they accused him rather of being a drug dealer. They accused him of being a money launderer. They even accused him of being a murderer. We know that he lost his visa. We know that his bank account at a local bank was closed. We know that his name is referenced in the impact report. We know that St. Lucians are terrified of that individual. And we know, by his own admission, that he is tied to the underworld because he knows all what goes on there. Ladies and gentlemen, that is the government that said to you that they would not have criminals in their ranks. The St. Lucia Labour Party, you know. And you have this man here, as you saw in that clip, clearly, openly, outrightly preaching violence, asking that a woman be beaten, okay, and beaten to death. His actual words, okay? But asking that a woman be beaten to death. A member of the St. Lucia Labour Party government. Ladies and gentlemen, let's listen to another clip just in case you might believe that it was a slip of the tongue or it was a one-off situation. Let's hear another clip from the same individual.
Yadi put it nicely this morning in a manner I want to share with all of you. Could you play what Yadi said this morning? De naturellement yo vini et you got try tarnish Richard Fredericks. Like ça passe right it see. Because of politics you're doing that and you're hiding behind some anonymous names. Huh? You hiding behind some anonymous names. They have to make an example of some of you guys. And St. Lucia, one day, somebody will make an example of these anonymous names. And then you know I'll come there and say, I don't care what form the person take the revenge. See you through whatever you fear. Because when you're provoking people, this could bring violence. And when you guys get blows, let us join coup. Pour ces magies à fait online. And Shady Zoka fait ça c'est quoi pour? You guys never fight in your life. Shady Zoka jamais jeune pièce qualité and battles go this on the face. But zo battle the internet. They have to make an example of you guys. Ek la yo diso. Na vin la li deme ek na di. La yo mande mo about it, they do that one that. Na di all chickens come to roost. De naturellement yo vini. De naturellement yo vini. Et you got try tarnish Richard Fredericks. Like ça passe right see. Because of politics you're doing that and you're hiding behind some anonymous names. Huh? You hiding behind some anonymous names. They have to make an example of some of you guys. And St. Lucia, one day, somebody will make an example of these anonymous names.
Yes, that is a clip from Yadi's show that Richard Frederick, a member of cabinet of the St. Lucia Labour Party government, played on his show, expressing his endorsement of the sentiments expressed by Yadi. In other words, Yadi is saying, in reaction to the posts that some people put on social media, that they should be beaten, they should be even, violence will be treated against them, that is the mentality of the surrogates of the St. Lucia Labour Party, their spokespersons, and in fact, members of their cabinet. Now, when I call on the Prime Minister to respond to the actions and utterances of his hand-picked sidekick, Richard Frederick El Kwapo, you know, the man that they described as being notorious for being involved in unsavory activities. I'm putting it as mildly as I can. You know, when I ask that the Prime Minister speak out and take action, okay, that he acts on the rampant and outrageous, out of control statements made by his minister, you know, especially, I've also asked too that that same Prime Minister, who happens to be the Minister of National Security, resign or that he be fired. I'm asking the Prime Minister to fire the Minister of National Security because he has been a dismal failure. He has not taken action, whether within or without, to do anything to show St. Lucians that he is taking a stand against criminal activity. Again, I'm accused of politicizing crime when I do so. In that case, ladies and gentlemen, let us hear from someone who has not been accused of politicizing crime. That gentleman has never, to my mind, my knowledge, never been accused of politicizing crime like I have been. So let's hear what he has to say on this matter. Play the next clip for me, please. With the next. Okay, I had a clip, and it was a clip with Dr. Kenny Anthony speaking on the issue of crime, but I will get it for you, and before the show is over, I will play it for you, because he had some things to say that I believe are very, very apt when it comes to what is happening today with the government of the St. Lucia Labour Party. I have to play that clip to you. However, ladies and gentlemen, while we look for that clip to bring up later, I want to introduce my special guest on this special occasion, the first anniversary of Like It Is. And he is appearing, ladies and gentlemen, for the first time on this show. I want to welcome you, Mr. Titus Preville, the endorsed candidate for Babonneau for the United Workers' Party, to Like It Is.
Thank you very much.
And as I always do, I spell out the rules to my guests. On this program, you simply have to tell it like it is.
The truth.
Okay, so before I get into the issues of the day, this is your first time here. You hardly need any introduction, but may I just say, if you can just give us a quick history, a quick background on Titus Privville.
Well, quickly, Spider, I am from Babonneau, born and raised. I'm a St. Lucian, born and raised Babonneau, went to school, grew up in the community. As every young man in that time I grew up, we were involved in lots of youth and sports activities, spent my time from Babonneau, Castries Comprehensive, A-level, worked with government in the Government Information Service for 10 years. I ended up being the Chief Information Officer, and then I continued working with government and worked at the Port Authority for another 5 years as the Director of Economics and Research, because I would have studied, apart from studying journalism, I would have studied economics and management and so forth at the UWI. And so I would have done work with government and work as a permanent secretary for almost 15 years. And then the last 5 years I was working with CARICOM as the director of the CARICOM Single Market and Economy.
Okay, very illustrious career.
Yes.
So
yes,
with such an illustrious career, as I describe it, and I cannot help but I took note that the last thing you said was that you're working with CARICOM in Barbados as a regional job.
Yes.
And what organization were you working with?
Well, the CARICOM Secretariat. The CARICOM Secretariat, yes.
You mind if I say, that's a big job, sir.
Lots of responsibility.
So you were not looking for a job?
No.
And if you're looking for a job, that certainly is a bigger job than what you get into. So what brings you to politics?
No, it's all about service to community, service to people. We are all born in a nation, a place on earth. Okay. And I'm born in St. Lucia. I love this country with all my heart. And it's not just the land, it's the people I grew up with and the values that the people I grew up with instilled in me. My school motto, Babonneau Primary School, is for God, my fellow men, and my country. So that's the school motto. So when you are immersed in an environment like that, when you grow up with people who instill in you that life is much more than yourself. It's not about I, it's about we, it's about us. And when a society you have lived in has provided opportunity for you to have amassed a certain level of experience, and the people in your community are saying to you, we really want you to come in and help in the leadership of your community. After a while, and this is not something that happened overnight, this call has been out there from the 1990s. And I've taken my time. I had priorities, family and so. But now I have no excuse. And I cannot continue to have an excuse to stay away on the fence and watch when we have a situation like what you've described in the earlier on with respect to crime. The level of crime, and it's a small society like us, like ours, where we are pretty much all related. And to have that level of violent, gun-related crime in particular would almost seem to suggest as if we are in a state of civil war. And we know we're not in a state of civil war, but that the numbers with a society like ours is simply off the charts. And we go next door to Grenada, a country just like us, a smaller population, 110,000. But if you have 10 people dying in a year through gun-related violence, this is an outrage. Barbados has over 350,000 people, and I think this year they had about 40 so far about 40 murders and gun-related murders.
But in St. Lucia, you're talking more like 60 something.
And that is a crisis you have over as far as the Bajans are concerned. But what is more worrying for me is that we seem to have grown numb in the face of these murders.
Yes.
And the responses that you're getting from the government, because at the end of the day, while none of us want to politicize crime, the truth of the matter is that the government of any country, in our democratic countries, they have a responsibility. The first responsibility is to protect the citizens of that country.
Right.
So it is almost impossible to remove politics from crime. Politics is about policy making, and therefore, if you are the policy makers, you have to be involved.
Yeah.
So I think there is no running away from it. The government has to find the solutions to protect the people of the country. It does not mean finding the solution means they only need to find the solutions. They need to find the means to find the solutions.
Right.
That is what is really, when we speak about the responsibility of the government. It's not just the number of men in cabinet.
Yeah.
It is bigger than that, but it's your ability to coordinate that defines you as being an effective government or an ineffective government.
All right. And so nothing happens in a vacuum. So you're not contesting the Babonneau seat against yourself. When I, zone in on what is happening in Babonneau, you seem to be one of the politicians who is in a very advantageous, fortunate position. And I say so because you are actually running against an individual that you defeated for the candidacy of the UWP. So the man is already defeated here. So he could not make the first string for UWP, so he went to a weaker team where he was accepted. And forgive me, but that is what I observe, that is what I see. Tell me something about your opponent, who, as far as I know, was not too long ago, not just a UWP, but a UWP who wanted to contest the Babonneau seat for UWP.
Spider, my approach to these things is to not so much focus on the individual, but to look at a wider system. And what is that wider system? Government in our democratic processes is really based on a system of trust.
All right.
The foundation of our democracy is on trust. And therefore, it is critical that anyone who puts himself or herself forward for political representation of people must be anchored in trust. Now, the difficulty that I believe the people of Babonneau have had over the new person, my opponent, is not so much the fact that he was a member of a financial member of our branch and a member of the United Workers' Party, or that he decided to join the Labour Party. That people change their minds in life, and he has the right to change. He had in fact correctly applied for the opportunity to be the United Workers' Party candidate.
Right.
And it would have been the two of us. And I recall very clearly when his letter was read, I was in Barbados at the time, and I called him and I said to him, well, if you are the person that the branch choose to be the candidate, I will give you my full support. That's how I understand we do these things. But the branch decided to choose me, and he in June
but
of
he
this year
did not reciprocate.
Well, well, in June this year, we saw that he had removed himself from the party. He removed himself officially, and he became, in the process, in the space of a short period of time, he replaced the current parliamentary rep as the candidate. And what really caught the attention of many people was perhaps what he said 2 Tuesdays or so ago, when he made his maiden speech. And you see, the gentleman in question, my opponent from Babonneau, was actually being taken around the community by prominent members of our branch and our party because they had trust in him. They saw him as a trustworthy person, a genuine person. And they were taking him around, introducing him to the community as a possible United Workers' Party representative. And he having moved across, I thought that I'm sure would have caused a bit of consternation. But what I believe has caused the greatest consternation is his declaration. When he declared that for over 20 years, he has been longing to say Mamai Labour. And that from 1987, he was in fact a core Labour person. And I reflected on that, and people have called me, many people have called me to say, but they don't understand. They said they don't understand because they said, but isn't that the same person who was telling us that they were representing, they wanted to represent the United Workers' Party? So the question is, if you, at the time, you were presenting yourself, you really in your heart, in your soul, in your mind, you were really Labour Party, why did you present yourself as a United Party hopeful, Workers' Party hopeful? Why would you misrepresent your own self before the people? And now you want to look at these very people in their eyes and say to them, guess what? I want you to trust me. But I am really not who you see. You know, this is not good. This is not good for our politics as a country. It is not good. I hold no animosity to the gentleman, and we are just competitors. But it does not look good for the Labour Party.
These are the things that breed distrust among
all
the
politicians
against politicians.
Correctly. These actions make the electorate believe that that politics is not is something of value, of honesty. And we need to, as a country, as people involved in those things, I take this thing seriously, Spider. I take the fact that people will trust me to advocate for them, trust me to defend them, trust me to represent them. I take this very seriously. This is not a joke. People are trusting you. Now, you know, when people exhibit that type of behavior that my opponent has exhibited, there are words that describe such behavior. I don't even want to utter those words because those words are not savory words. You know, I would prefer tonight not to say what the English language describe people who behave like this are. I will let the listeners and the viewers research in the context and find out what those words are. But this is not good, and I would hope that the Labour Party reflect quickly and deeply on the matter. And in fact, if this is the new standard bearer of the organization, then it does not put much confidence in the young people. What is the example we're setting for the young people? So these are some of the immediate concerns that I thought, you know, as you asked the question, came to me on the matter.
Well, you know, Titus, that is why I always quote Albert Einstein, who once said that whoever is careless with the truth in small matters cannot be trusted with important matters. Now, if this guy is presenting himself to the electorate and representing himself already from the onset, can you trust this guy when it comes to the important matters of your livelihood, of your future, of your well-being? You know, because when you talk about representation, that's what it is about. You know.
Yeah, this is the thing, and you know, these things can become very nasty very soon for the individual. Now, the process that we're engaging is a process of building confidence and trust, and I don't know how far that will go where he's concerned. But certainly, if a person decides to align themselves behind that value system, it speaks a lot about the person themselves who is going to align behind that. And we have a system in Babon where I understand that the gentleman was involved in distributing government vouchers.
No, I've heard that as well.
I couldn't believe that either.
Yeah, but you see, before I say much, I want to ask you, And the reason why I'm asking you, I expect you to know a little more about him than I do. So, which government agency does he work with? Is it like SSDF,
No.
Ministry of Social Transformation?
No, but I mean the officer, the gentleman is, as he stated, a retired teacher and principal.
He's not a government official?
No, not
so
a
how
government
he comes about, how he got to be distributing vouchers?
But I think we have a bigger issue, Spider. I'm the one really want to focus on the gentleman. In truth, I really want to focus more on a more fundamental issue, the principle. If vouchers,
right?
Government vouchers, and you are Minister for Social.
That's correct.
For
That's
equity.
why I'm alarmed at what you just said there.
These are tools to provide assistance to those who are not able in our society.
Vulnerable people.
Persons we might go
or people
through
facing emergencies.
emergencies, or if as a nation we would have faced a COVID environment.
That's right.
Those vouchers come in.
Hurricane, something.
Correct.
Yeah.
But now this seems to be what is distributed, and very seriously, some of this is being distributed by sitting parliamentary representatives themselves in the person.
Right.
Now, I know that there is no policy issue associated with a distribution of voucher. So why would a politician be involved in an administrative function?
That's right. That's
From the moment you see a politician involved in an administrative function, you have to ask some questions.
Yeah, and the process is immediately politicized.
It is politicized.
And number two, Titus, I just want to say this.
These are serious issues.
I want to say this before our listeners and viewers are wondering where we're going with this. Those vouchers, that's my tax money.
Correct.
And if you as an individual, I'm talking to you now, Titus, as a politician, as an individual, distributing in the absence of any emergency, not having any special program, for that matter, as you just quite rightly indicated, you're not supposed to be involved in any case in this administrative process. That means you're taking the state's resources to buy votes. That is what is happening.
Because the purpose of, again, we go back to why we have governance and good government.
Yeah.
The state separates policy making and administration.
Right.
The political directorate is responsible for setting the policy, approving the regulations and the rules and all that is supposed to go with that.
Right.
And they actually hire and pay, the state pays for persons to implement the policy. So if there are rules and guidelines that guide how vouchers are to be distributed, the politician, from Prime Minister down, have no direct responsibility for the distribution of those things. Because here is what happens. From the moment you involve a politician in distribution, some member of the community, of the society, could say, I was discriminated against as a result of politics. It might not be the intention of the politician, but anyone can level that complaint. So why would a politician want to find themselves in that situation?
Well, because they want to buy votes with taxpayers' money.
And if that is the case, then it goes against the fundamental issue of trust that we need to have in our political process.
And it deals with the issue of governance as well.
Absolutely.
You know, I mean...
And I am beginning to get very concerned, and I will expect the Prime Minister of St. Lucia, because this is taxpayers' money. The Minister for Finance is responsible at the end of the day for all taxpayers' money and its use. I will expect the Minister, Prime Minister, or the Minister responsible for equity and so forth, to clarify how this voucher system is supposed to work. In fact, there are so many questions in this. I am not able to identify where in the budget estimates the allocation is made for this. It seems to be something financed outside of the regular budget process. And when you look at the estimates, the only place you have possible sources of funds is under what they call non-tax revenue. And then when you begin to dig deeper and you ask yourself, what are our sources of non-tax revenue? One of the areas that emerge immediately before your face is CIP, the Citizen by Investment Program, and the funds that are supposedly available there.
Because you see, the government under Philip JPA has embarked on a deliberate program to buy votes, and I'm going to say it clearly, to buy votes. And that is why they're giving so much handouts, they're giving this bonus here and all of those things that, you know, those unsustainable policies that they're engaging in right now. And that is dangerous, because what they are in fact doing, apart from, you know, keeping our people dependent rather than grow an economy where people can fend for themselves, of course, like I always say, I'm one who believes that there will always be in society those who cannot fend for themselves, and that is where the safety net, social safety nets come in, and the social programs come in. But that is no social program. I mean, how does John Estefan, who, first of all, is not proper for any of the elected ministers to be doing it, how does he find himself having vouchers in his possession to be distributing government vouchers to individuals? You know?
This is a most strange place for our country to be. And I say strange because the administration we have here, this Labour administration and Labour administrations in the past, I recall very clearly in '97, the watchwords were transparency, accountability. And these words I don't think anyone would have forgotten, because these words were used over and over again. And there is absolutely nothing wrong with those, because these words are in fact the watchwords that any government should have. So what I see happening, and what all St. Lucians, fair-minded St. Lucians, see happening, flies in the face of accountability and transparency. And it forces one to conclude that people are using taxpayers' money in a political manner to gain political advantage, to purchase people's vote. And that is a very bad place for us to be.
As disgusting and despicable as that is, I'm hoping that our people are sufficiently wise and mature. And I know there is need. I know that if you get a freeness, I mean, that's always welcome. But I'm hoping that you St. Lucians, even when you take that money, you eat that money, you drink that money, but you do not allow that disrespect to be perpetrated on you, where they can buy you as a result of that. So let them know that you're not for sale. Even if you take their money, what you do is, for that kind of behavior, vote them out come the next general election.
And that's important, Spider, because what is it that we do when we go out to vote? What is it we do? Spider, let us say Grocery Day had 10 people. And you and I are part of that group of 10. So you say you'd like to be the representative for the 10 of us.
Right.
I say I would like to be the representative. In the ideal world, it would be good if all 10 of us could have sat in Parliament and fight for our own selves.
Right.
But that cannot happen. So among us, the 10, we say, well, okay, who you think will, represent? So some might say Spider, some might say Titus. At the end of the day, they will choose.
Right.
The process of them choosing you, say you were the one, is they saying to you, I want you to be my voice. I want you to speak for me and stand for me and defend me in Parliament, get resources for me. That's what they're saying. Now, if they're saying they want you to do that, why should you pay them to do that?
Exactly.
There's no correlation.
Right.
The moment you decide to pay them is you saying to them, well, I recognize you really preferred Preville, but I'm going to offer you something to forget that. So you choose me. So anybody who is involved in that practice is saying to you, one, I am not the person you want. I recognize I am not fit to be the person. And guess what? Let's make a deal so that I can be that person, but the real person, we will put him aside. That is what happens anytime a politician seeks to buy votes.
Call it what you want, it is bribery.
It is bribery.
And this is the kind of thing we have to discourage in this country. And when you have politicians who have that disposition from the onset, you have to send them packing. I'm talking about that, I'm talking about bribery, which is in itself a criminal act. I spoke of this clip that I really wanted to play before we end the show. So I think my technical people have indicated that they have it queued up for me. So let's just hear what this gentleman, who has never been accused of politicizing crime, had to say on the situation.
Silent. The minute
You're not playing? Okay, we have some problems with the audio here. Okay, but if we get that sorted out, I will come back to it later. But let's continue our discussion, Titus. And you know, at the end of the day, we certainly cannot encourage that kind of behavior. And it's unfortunate because you see, the Labour Party seem to want to always appear to be taking the high ground, but they're the ones engaging in those despicable behaviors. And you know, that business of trying to buy votes, you know, what you should do as a politician is give people proper representation on the strength of your performance. That is where you should appeal to the voters that they vote for you.
And absolutely, and that is what this is about. I don't think I'm being naive. I think I'm sure if you were to take all 34 candidates or persons who would be going in the next general election, I'm just looking at the two political parties now, and you were to ask them, are you going to seek to buy votes? Every single one of them will say no. And why would they say no? Right. Because they know it's wrong. It is wrong. Yeah, they know it's wrong. If we know something is wrong, we recognize it is wrong. Yeah. Any deviation from that is already a serious matter for you in terms of your integrity. And these are the words we expect from our people. But Spider, I thought also, and as we speak about not being able to identify the source of funds for the programs such as the voucher system, we see other programs being projects, I call them projects, being advanced to meet people's desires. Right. And I see there is an initiative where the government is seeking to pay civil servants, I think $500
at Christmas time.
At Christmas time. When I was asking myself, you know, I know civil servants are intelligent people. They would see that for what it is.
See through that, yeah.
And I said, let me just give one simple example to help us understand. You know, we've been paying fuel at $16 a gallon now for a while, and we know that the excise tax on that is in excess almost $4, but more than that. That same fuel that we pay $16 for could really be sold to us at anywhere between $13.50 and $14. If you look at what is happening in Dominica, they're selling their fuel is sold at $13.59, say $13.60 a gallon. Antigua, it is almost $14. So basically, if you were to see in St. Lucia.
And by the way, I need to establish, do they get their fuel from the same sources?
The same sources,
okay,
same sources as us.
Because you see, it's one thing if they get it more expensive than us, but and that's the point I think people need to bear in mind.
So here it is. You are selling fuel to St. Lucians at about $2.40 more for a gallon than you really should. And if you were to take a regular car, say 10 gallons, say a vehicle holds 10 gallons when full.
Right.
If you fill your vehicle, you are paying $24 more than you should. And if you fill your vehicle twice for the month, you are paying $48 more than you should.
Right.
And over a period of 1 year, 12 months, you're actually paying $576 more than you should. Yet the government gives you $500. So understand this. You are paying more. If you are a civil servant and you own a car, you are paying $240 more compared to the Dominican guy.
Right.
You're paying $240 more than you should. I mean, $2.40 more on every gallon than you should. And therefore, at the end of a month, when you fill your tank twice, you're paying $48 more than you should. At the end of a year, you're paying $576 more than you should, and the government comes and gives you $500, and somehow you should be very happy that you've been given that.
Now that's interesting that you made, that you worked out the maths on that one and so on. But what about the 2.5% I'm paying on.
I have not even factored that one in.
On
I just gave a
services.
very simple one.
You see, so in other words, it's our money that they've taken from
Absolutely.
us and giving us some of it back in return
And
for our votes.
And you don't own a car.
Yeah.
You don't own a car, but you're getting $500 at the end of the year. Do a simple exercise. Just take a basket of goods that you shop every month, a basket of goods. Apply the health and security levy on that. Then you look at that for 12 months in the year and see how much money you have paid out in a health and security levy, which is a misnomer.
Right.
And then the government is going to give you $500. Really, how much have you gotten?
Right.
So I think these things are smoke screens that you would see flashed before civil servants who will see right through it anyway. They recognize that they have been given nothing. In fact, the government has taken more from them than has been given in the case of a 10-gallon vehicle, a vehicle with capacity of 10 gallons. You see it played out all the time. So I think it is what St. Lucians are seeing before them is an administration that recognizes that over the last 4.5 years, it has not fulfilled any of the most fundamental issues of a society. When an administration reverts to the granting of vouchers with no crisis at the end of 4 years and counting, it also tells us that government recognizes that its policies over the 4 years have failed, that the people's lives are worse off than they were before, and these people urgently need some prop. They need some handout, some voucher, because they are about to go under. And this is a government, so it is actually saying by its actions, I recognize that I have failed my people, my policies have failed, and I am now urgently trying to prop them up. But it is also going to say to you, give me 5 more years in office. Who does that?
Exactly.
Who does that?
You know, but I think the electorate are smart enough, they're sensible enough to recognize that. Because don't forget that this is the same government that said that anybody who's earning more than $4,000 or less would be tax exempted.
Yes.
I mean, in terms of income tax. And it's 4 years now, going to 5 years, and we know election is around the corner. You know, it has not happened.
Has not happened.
You know, the difference I want to show is when the UWP in their campaign said we're going to cut out all property taxes, they did it for 5 years.
And you'd remember that. You remember that again. I keep saying all of this because within the first 12 months of the UWP coming into office, it had already addressed the matter of reducing the VAT by 2.5 on everything.
That's right.
On
so
everything.
That is the difference. One is putting more money in your pocket. The other is taking your money, and then when the time comes now, they realize they need you now, they give you a token in return. I don't think that will work this time around.
And Spider, we have a series of things happening in our country that I think our citizens need to just be aware of and open their eyes to. You see a number of construction projects, road projects, and I use roads because I recall during COVID, when the country was in shutdown, little bit of traffic on the road, the government was trying to prime the economy to take off. The current administration said people don't eat roads, but now it seems people do eat roads because there is such a massive level of road construction or reconstruction. But what is even more serious is the fact that we don't know how much those roads are being costed. We do not see any tenders going out for these roads. You are in a dark hole. You know, when you saw road construction going on, you normally would see a billboard stating who's the contractor, source of funds, how much it will cost, estimated duration for the project. All of that was in the realm of public accountability and transparency. This has gone out the window. So St. Lucians are seeing things happening. These things seem not funded in the budget, the estimates that were approved a few months ago, but they're happening. So the question is, where is the source of those funds? And if you are spending money that the public in the public's name that they have no idea of, there are other questions that come on board immediately. So you have a source of funds, and how much of that source of funds is being spent on only the public work? Are you dipping in that funds for other private purposes? The public has a right to ask those questions, and that is where the CIP
I hope the
funds
Parliament
become serious.
representative for Grosley is listening to you.
But these are the issues. These are the real issues. Where there is no accountability, the public reserves the right to speculate. And this government has come under one huge blanket cloud of speculation because nobody can find what rules in the public service are being followed. They have, everything has gone out the window, and there is a government doing things free for all without any accountability.
Now, Titus, before I open the lines, let me see if we can get this clip to play. Do you think we're ready with the clip? Yes. Okay, let's get this clip to be played, because I really want our viewers and listeners to hear what someone else, a very interesting individual, has to say about the situation.
He remains silent. The Minister of Justice says nothing. And the police try as they might to make the announcements. They can offer no guidance, no comfort. We are in a difficult situation. The truth is, a leadership that is helpless does not deserve to lead. A government that is helpless does not deserve to govern. A prime minister who is helpless does not deserve the prestige of his office. He is the worst minister of national security we have had. And I just want you to remember how quickly our memories fade.
Yes, I really wanted our listeners to hear that.
Is that a commentary by former Prime Minister?
Former Prime Minister Dr. Kenny Anthony.
Parliamentary rep for
Beaufort South. And his words are, a leader that fails to lead does not deserve to lead. A government that fails to lead does not deserve to be in government. And a Prime Minister who fails to lead does not deserve the prestige of the office that he holds. Very apt, very applicable. I am sending that message to the current Prime Minister, and that's what his predecessor thinks, given the situation as it exists with him right now. Because he has failed as a Minister of National Security.
But this information coming from former Prime Minister Kenny Anthony is a very serious indictment.
It is.
Because the Prime Minister would have had responsibility at the end of the day as a Prime Minister for national, at the end of the day, whether you hold a portfolio of national security or not, the safety of your people is the most important thing. And therefore, when he is making that statement, he's making that statement from a considered perspective. Now, if St. Lucians are listening, and I say so because I don't think Prime Minister Anthony has anything to prove again, former Prime Minister. He has nothing to prove again. When he's speaking now, he's speaking freely. He's speaking his conscience. He's basically telling it like it is. And so when he's doing that, I think every St. Lucian of sound mind, conscious of the value of life, should be taking those words very seriously and should be acting on the advice that former Prime Minister Anthony is providing to all of us.
That's correct. That's correct. Yeah, but I think I'll open the line now, Titus. For the benefit of my viewers and listeners, our landline is 4500777. Again, 4500777, and our WhatsApp number is 284-3499. Once again, 284-3499. So the lines are open. You may call in on this, our first anniversary of being on the air. Like it is, invites you to call in and tell it like it is. If you have a question, a statement to make, or some words of encouragement for my guests, as you know the rules, be polite to my guests and do not attempt to take over my show.
So before the callers come in, Spider, one of the things we can promise the St. Lucians, all our St. Lucians, is that we will be taking a very close look at the CIP.
Okay.
And we intend as an opposition to appear on forums such as this.
That is comforting, yeah.
To explain to St. Lucians, to the best of our ability, based on the information we have, what is actually going on with the CIP.
All right. Okay, I think we have a call online. Yes. Good evening, caller. Welcome to Like It Is. Please go ahead and make your contribution.
My brother, Lenard Spider Montoute, the Honorable Spider Montoute.
Yes, good evening.
And good evening, my brother, Titus Preville.
Good morning. Good evening.
And I have a wealth of love, a wealth of admiration, a wealth of respect. This is the Golden Dragon. I'll make 3 quick points. I happened to be in a bus about 2 weeks ago, about 7 p.m., when a lady on the bus said, and she said that because the guy made a comment that he was going somewhere he's not supposed to go, and is going to take care of somebody. And the lady saying, but you're saying that somebody on the bus might call and say you come in, and they might take care of you before you get there. Before you leave the bus, they might take care of you. And when the guy came off the bus by the airport, the lady said, imagine the same person who's telling you, let's make peace, let's make peace, let's have a peace treaty. It's the same person that gave him the gun for the fellas to kill each other. I was shocked. And that's a young lady about 25 years old who's saying, the same person that's telling you, let's make peace, let's form a peace treaty, let's get the guys to play football together, make friends. It's the same guy giving the guns to kill each other. First point. Second point. People getting killed, young guys getting killed, nobody saying nothing. But they kill a big boy, and the PM came and said something, you know. They kill a big boy in Masha. I think he's a big boy for big business. And the PM came and talked. But when they kill the little boys, nothing's been said by the PM. That's 2 points. And the third point, I was in town and I stopped by the building of this I call it Hall of Justice. I said, can I see the bossman? See, the bossman is not here, he's in Jamaica, but I'm in charge. I said, sir, if you're the Prime Minister of St. Lucia and you're building a Hall of Justice, where do you build it? The Bodley prisons is down by Bexo. And this is your capital city, where you have your banks and your main businesses. Where would you put a Hall of Justice if you had to build it? You see, obviously, I put the Hall of Justice between the capital city and Bodley, which means he put it somewhere in Calisac. Or also, he won't put it in the center of your capital city. Imagine a man who's a project man is telling me he would put the Hall of Justice between the capital city and Bodley. That's somewhere in Calisac or also, not in the center of your capital city. Madness. This project has to be stopped immediately. And this guy, El Federico, or the one they call El Papo, is the one behind this thing.
Okay, caller, let's try to wind down. Let's not make it too long.
In town. Madness. Thank you, Spider. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. Yeah. And, you know, that is why we have to be very careful who we vote for, because at the end of the day, they dictate to a great extent the trends and what happens in a country. And when you have people who do not have the legitimacy and authority to speak on certain subjects, you know things can go haywire very easily. Yeah. Do we have another caller? Yes, we have another caller on the line. Good evening, caller. Welcome to Like It Is. Please go ahead and make your contribution. Tell it like it is.
Yeah, good evening, Spider.
Yes, good evening.
To your guests. Yeah, I've been listening to the show, and happy anniversary on your 1 year show.
Thank you very much.
Thanks. More blessings, you know. You've been doing a great job. And more blessings, and I know you as an honest person, and you try that. I never see no negative energy, so big up yourself. You know. So yeah. So I'm talking on the policies. Like I've been listening to you guys, and I feel some things we shouldn't take for granted when it comes to leaving to the public and say, you know, judging the public on making the decisions. I think a lot of public people do. I think a lot of more groundwork need to be done because you just being out there in the shows and saying, and being out there and saying, yes, the public's no. I think more ground work is very important. Going out there, meeting the people, see what they're saying, changing their minds. Because you being on thing and say it out there, it's not going to happen. Because we know how St. Lucia is, and the illiteracy is very high. People are easily being bought, you know what I mean, for like nothing. So I believe groundwork for somebody to win you need a lot of groundwork. Groundwork, you need to meet the people, talk to them. Groundwork is very important. Because even when you watch, okay, in war strategies and what they, you see guys that planes, they go out there, but guess what? Military gotta be on the ground. Marines gotta be on the ground. Groundwork is very important. Because you can do it, but if you cannot do the groundwork, you cannot win. Groundwork is important. And listen to Kenny and today, I think you guys interpret it right, because yes, he's a former prime minister, but is he still a member of the Labour Party? So all of this, we gotta clarify. So you should say, still a member of the Labour Party, don't have former prime minister and a member of the Labour Party, still don't have confidence. Don't have confidence of his member, his member being leader of the St. Lucian government.
Okay, caller, let's try to keep it short, caller, so we can get a couple more callers.
Oh yeah, no problem. But I think it is deeper than that. But anyway, I appreciate that.
All right, thank you very much for calling. Thank you. Yes. Yeah, and I just want to point out to our technician, the calls are not very crisp. You know, I'm having some difficulty making out everything that the callers are saying. Yes. Yeah. Do we have any caller on the line? No. You know, so I think, you know, what we have to, you know, explain to our viewers and listeners is that governance is a big part of how your country is run and what happens in your country. And when you have a government that seems to be so incompetent and impotent when it comes to crime fighting, like you started off by saying that is one of the primary responsibilities of a government, and I share that view strongly, you know, because nothing will thrive if you do not have security in your country. You know?
And it's the tone you set from the start.
That's right.
Very, very important.
Yeah.
I think it's
you know, you all have some policies, and some of them I know, you know, points to what you're going to do in terms of,
we do have
of security.
Correct.
Yes. Yeah, we have a caller on the line. Good evening, caller. Welcome to Like It Is.
Good evening to you, Mr. Montoute and Mr. Preville. You sure you know this voice, Mr. Preville? Okay, I know that you're a man who came out to work for us. Question. What is your plan for Babylon? Number one. And another question is, what is the plan for the youth in Babylon? Because this is an important factor, having the youth involved in everything. And one thing I would like to hear, or something I would like you to do, if you become the minister or the rep for Babylon, is to formally open the Lager Combined School, which was constructed or built by Mr. Ezekiel, and to this day has not formally opened. This is one thing I look forward to you doing it. And I just have my full support, Mr. Preville. Bravo to you.
All right, that's for you, Titus. Clearly someone from your area.
Thank you very much for the support, for our supporter, obviously.
Yeah.
So firstly, let me just say, I want to start with the last point first. In terms of the opening of the Lager Combined School, work done by former parliamentary rep Ezekiel Joseph, and let me say for the public record here tonight, Spider, Ezekiel Joseph is one of the parliamentary representatives Babylon has had, who has done tremendous work in this community. I can say without any fear of contradiction that his contribution in the short space of time that he was able to contribute, a total of 10 years in all, on par with Mr. Buske in terms of Mr. Buske's 30 years.
Yeah.
So I have a significant bar that I have to reach in terms of meeting the requirements that the people of Babonneau have come to expect from a UWP government.
Right.
Now, with respect to the matters on youth, and plans for Babonneau. The plans for Babonneau are focused very much on people empowerment as far as the youth is concerned. Focus on economic development, which will look at agriculture as a lead sector, which will also look at small business development, our manufacturing and services sectors in Babonneau. I have a plan to see how we work these together in a collaborative manner to build greater synergies among the participants in that economic market, meaning your employers, for expansion and growth of the economy. I have had discussions with the farmers. I met with the farmers in some of the farmers in Marquis Estate. I've met with other farmers. We're meeting with groups throughout the community. The purpose of which is to ensure that everything we do is a reflection of one, participation. There must be a participatory process in crafting policy so that these policies are owned by the people. And I have a special focus because the population distribution of Babonneau, youth between 10 and 45, well, youth ends at 35, but the population, the body between 10 and 35 is significant. So what is the focus? The focus is on empowerment of youth. And under that, we treat with the different pillars that would lead to empowerment. In there would be sports. In there would be development in terms of small business and entrepreneurship. In there for young people. In there would be a focus on non-sport activity. From after school support for homework and education, to persons who have an interest in hiking or an interest in debating. So our focus is on ensuring that we develop a community in a holistic manner. But very importantly, Spider, before we take the next call, once you would have one-day election, I am not going to have a constituency office. I am going to have a community office for the parliamentary representative. The word constituency connotes some political division. I am not interested in political development. I'm interested in community development. So the whole posture is one of, let us now build the Babonneau community, not the Babonneau constituency, the Babonneau community, which means bringing everybody of goodwill together for our common.
So you'll not be focused on protecting the victory?
I am not protecting the victory at all. No. and I never understood that phrase, protecting the victory, which is another matter we can come to after the call.
All right. Okay, we have another call online. Good evening, caller. Welcome to Like It Is. Go ahead, make a contribution. Tell it like it is.
Yeah, come on.
We cannot hear you.
That's the quality is poor. We can't make out what the caller is saying. Sorry, caller, we can't make out what you're saying. Yeah.
And Spider, while we get the next call, you mentioned the protecting the victory.
Yeah.
I have pondered over this, and I'm asking myself, who is this organization, this government referring to when they were asking to protect the victory? Because the government is the government of all the country.
Exactly.
So from the moment you begin to speak language like protect the victory, you are saying that I'm speaking to some of my supporters, and therefore you seem to be governing for some and not for all. That language has no place in government. Who are you appealing to protect the victory? The victory has been won.
Yeah.
You are the government.
Right. I think you have another call online? No, okay, we don't. Yes, I fully agree with you, because at the end of the day, you see, that's what they don't make the distinction where right now you're a politician in a campaign and so on, but once you win the election, you become the government of St. Lucia, not the government of the St. Lucia Labour Party, like they say.
And these are the misnomers that creep into our politics, that cause the poor performance of politicians and the country. For instance, you have a leader of the opposition. The leader of the opposition does not represent only the opposition in the country, or all the people who did not vote for the government. The leader of the opposition represents everyone in the country.
Yeah.
When a government has a bad policy and the opposition opposes it, and the opposition is successful in its opposition, it means the entire country is saved from a bad policy.
Yeah.
And similarly, when the government has a good policy, the good policy benefits everyone. It doesn't only benefit their supporters.
Right.
So we have to really step back and look at our governance processes,
Yeah.
what is at stake, and understand that nation building requires politics, but it is not supposed to be so divisive.
Yeah. Okay, Titus, I think we've run out of time. Before we end, let me just give you, the next couple of minutes for you to have your last say.
Thank you very much for the opportunity, and let me congratulate you. I didn't do it at the start
Thank
on
you.
the 1 year anniversary. I know the political leader did very early.
Yeah.
So I want to congratulate you on that. And let me say, Spider, that I feel very, very confident as a member of the United Workers' Party that we have a team assembled there that is ready, capable, and able and committed to work in the interests of all St. Lucians.
And many share that view.
And we have men and women of goodwill. I believe that the population of St. Lucia, they're not foolish. I respect St. Lucians. Many look down and say, oh, these people only forget. No. I have watched St. Lucians who never went to school move from carrying bananas on their head to applying spray, to applying chemical, to doing things, to learning how to put ribbons, and they can't read and write. So our St. Lucians are intelligent people. So these intelligent people out there, I know they are listening. I know they are reading the tea leaves. They can decipher between a little block a hole policy and a policy for all. The people of Babonneau, I want to thank them in advance for the confidence that they have and will demonstrate at the polls as soon as the Prime Minister gets the courage to call the polls.
Yeah.
I believe that I feel the love, I feel the support, I feel that the people really are ready for change. Change is coming soon, positive change, and I can't really wait for the general elections for us to bring the bacon home and for our party to be in office to guide this beautiful country.
Yes, and let me just endorse one of the things that you said. I think, and many St. Lucians share that view, that the United Workers' Party has put together a remarkable team, and I think I'm in a position to speak on it because I've been a part of 5 teams, and I'm telling you, I'm unfortunately not part of the team, but I have not seen a better team. And I think that will augur very well for us in this country in terms of our development. And I, as a St. Lucian who has no option, and when I say I have no option because I have only one passport, I look forward to a better St. Lucia so that I, my family, my future generations, all my friends and everyone in St. Lucia can enjoy a much better life. We know we can do better.
They can.
And we have seen better days. What obtains now is not ideal. So let me say to all of my viewers and listeners, and those of you who called in tonight, let me thank you very much as we went through our first anniversary. I look forward to the coming year of even greater things and better things for Like It Is. I hope that we grow from strength to strength, as I said in the beginning, and that this program will become a staple for St. Lucians, where I will provide you with the relevant information that is of concern and interest to you, St. Lucians. I want to thank those of you in the diaspora, as always, who have tuned in every week. I want to thank you for the support that you provided. Those of you who sent in congratulatory messages, thank you very much. And ladies and gentlemen, let me just remind you that tomorrow, Tuesday, from 10 a.m., we're going to have the weekly United Workers' Party press briefing. On Thursday morning, you're going to have Meet the Opposition, or as the new candidates like Titus and the guys like to tell me, it is Meet the Government in Waiting. That is from 9 o'clock in the morning. On Sunday, the usual Sunday Live, but this time we are going to be in Castries East. That is something to look forward to. So I want to thank all of you. I want to wish you a very good night, and stay tuned to the United Workers' Party, where we shed the light on the truth and we bring you hope in terms of the plans and policies that the United Workers' Party has for you. Finally, I want to thank my guest who has been on Like It Is for the first time, Mr. Preville, and I want to wish you all the best at the polls.
Thank
I have
you.
no doubt in my mind that you will be the next parliamentary representative for Babylon.
I don't doubt that for
Thank you very much.